In this video, I'm going to give you a checklist of 7 things, and if you tick all these boxes, it means you're above the average level of a drummer when playing drum fills. Starting with number 1, playing the snare drum on beats 2 and 4. What I'm talking about here is pocket drum fills. So when you're playing a drum fill and you keep your snare drum playing on beats 2 and 4 of a bar while playing a drum fill, it tends to sound really cool and it tends to keep you in the pocket while playing. So listen to me playing a few drum fills here and you'll see what I mean. This isn't that easy to do, but once you lock it in, you're going to start sounding way groovier when you play different drum fills. Before I move on to the next thing on the list, if you are a drummer who wants to unlock freedom on the drums, so you want to sit down and be able to play whatever you want, or you want to listen to drummers and then just copy what they do, but have the freedom to be able to do that, go check out my Flow Freedom Framework. It is a full system that I've taught hundreds of students to unlock flow on the drums, which means you can sit down and just play, improvise freely and not have any limitations. The link's in the description of this video. Go check it out and let's move on with the video. Up next, subdivision changes. So if you can play a drum fill and change subdivisions within that drum fill, that is really cool, and a lot of drummers can't do that. So here's a few examples. I'll go from 8th notes to 16th notes, or 16th notes to 16th note triplets, and you'll just see what I mean. Up next, odd phrasing. This is a term you'll hear thrown around a lot, but in its most basic form, here's what it means. When drummers play drum fills, usually they either count in 4 or 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, crash. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, crashed. But you can take that count and you can split it up. So instead of counting in 4s or 8s, you can count in a 3 and a 5. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, crash. That's odd phrasing. So instead of just being like a block, it's like a smaller block and then a bigger block, and you put that together and it sounds more interesting than like the robotic 4s and 8s that we all programmed to play. I'll just play a few of these, and if you can play odd group phrasings when playing drum fills, you actually start sounding like a pro drummer, and that puts you above like the average player. So let me just show you a few examples. Up next, dynamics. Dynamics just mean like louds or softs. That's all it is. What beginner drummers will do when playing drum fills is they'll just keep it all at the same level. But if you start varying your volume as you play, that puts you above the average drummer. And then that's what makes it sound musical, because music is just highs and lows. And it's those highs and lows like mixed together. So if you want to play a musical drum fill, vary how you play around the drums, like in terms of volume. So here's a few examples. Up next, kick drum placement. So when we all start playing drums, we tend to not use the bass drum within drum fills. We are taught to play bass drum on 1, which is when you play the crash cymbal. So it's crash with your kick. But if you start to add your bass drum within the fills, they start to sound really cool. And that puts you, again, as we're going down this checklist, that puts you above the average drummer, because that's now like an intermediate or an advanced style technique to use to add your kick drum in the fill. It just makes it sound more interesting. It adds more depth to your drum fill. So here's a few examples of me doing that. Up next, fills within grooves. So when you're playing drum grooves, like within a song, oftentimes it's actually better to keep the drum fill within the groove that you're playing so that it doesn't sound too different from what you're playing. I had like a whole rant about this, but I'm just going to show you the video of me doing this, and you'll see what I mean by that is like I won't move around the kit. I'll just play a drum fill within the groove that I'm playing, like on the snare, hi-hat, and kick. And if you can do this, you're good. Like, you're a good drummer. Up next, flow. Flow just basically means freedom on the kit. If you can like sit down and just move your hands in a cool way and in a different way every time you play, and you have like no restrictions to what you can play on the drums, and you can just sit and just like that's flow at its basic form. It just means that you're not restricted by your like abilities on the kit, and you don't play the same thing over and over, and you don't premeditate fills. That's like the main thing about flow is you're not premeditating what you're going to do. You just sit and you just do it. And that's flow on the drums. And that's where the best drum fills come from, is when you have flow as a drummer and you are good at flowing around the drums. Drum fills will just come out of that. And that's actually more of a pro thing. It's not even just slightly above average. Like the pros flow the best on the drums. And if you want to be like a good drummer, flow is like one of the main things that you need to work on, is just being free on the kit. So I'll show you what I mean. I'll just sit and play drums and then just flow into those fills, and I'll just play random fills. I'm not thinking about what I'm gonna do like with all the previous things on this checklist. I'm just gonna flow. And out of this whole checklist, flow, I would argue, is the most important thing. And if you want to improve your flow and get good at the drums, go check out my Flow Freedom Framework. Again, the link is in the description of this video. Let me know in the comments what you checked on this list and what you still need to work on. Are you above the average drummer at playing drum fills? I'd love to chat about it, and then I will see you guys in the next video.